Project Bluebeam and Holograms. Now, a hologram is a three-dimensional image projected into space. A hologram is made by shining a laser light and splitting it into two beams using a beam splitter. One beam shines on the object you're trying to recreate and bounces back, then it carries the object's shape. The second beam or reference beam is aimed at a mirror, and from that mirror, the reference beam travels toward a special plate or light-sensitive layer that reacts to the laser light by storing or absorbing the information for that three-dimensional object. Before the second or reference beam reaches the film plate, both beams that were split from the beam splitter collide with each other to form wave patterns. When the two beams meet on the light-sensitive layer, they overlap to form wave patterns that are recorded on the film plate. Now, in order to see the hologram, you would just shine a second or reference beam at the developed plate so that it could project a three-dimensional image into space. The same thing happens inside of our brain, which is also a holographic computer. Not literally a hologram, but the brain processes and stores information the way a hologram does, then projects the three-dimensional data stored from the light particles out into open space as a three-dimensional image. When you look at a person, place, or thing, you're looking at a reflection of photon light particles. The light is reflected or bounces off the object, then it enters the film plate or your eyes and converts those light particles into electrical signals that the brain turns into three-dimensional images. Now, Project Bluebeam is dangerous and tricky because they can project a holographic image anywhere in the world and make it look any way they want to. Holograms are going to be used to deceive the religious world by creating images of a Messiah, Muhammad, Jesus, or Shiva. For example, in Mexico, they made a hologram of a crying Virgin Mary that people thought were real. Then another hologram was seen of Jesus appearing in the clouds in the Philippines. They made a hologram of Tupac at Coachella back in 2012. In these upcoming years, Project Bluebeam are going to use holograms and lasers to simulate riots against different races and species and project a Messiah type of savior coming down from the clouds. It's going to be hard for some people to tell the difference because our brain already projects images outside from the inside through reflection and projection, because everything you see already is just a three-dimensional image or light being projected outside. So when you look at anything or anyone, whether it's a ghost, an alien, or an animal, or a white mist moving quickly past your eyes, or a black shadow figure in the corner of your house, you're not seeing the actual object. You're just looking at a reflection of light. You can also overload the parts of the brain that you don't use, because some humans only use 7% of their brains, which means you have 93% waiting to be accessed.